Hey guys! Oh my gosh, I am just so excited. So, the month of May, we have been doing these author panels in celebration of FanGrrl Romance Recs going live with the website, and then also the fact that we're going to be doing book signing events. I'm currently planning one for 2026 in Orlando, Florida. And as a part of that, I wanted to make this big like fuss about it, to kind of get some attention and let everyone know we're doing this. And so I reached out to 15 best-selling authors and I asked them if they would do panels with me in the month of May. And so every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, I'm doing panels. And so we are at our second to last panel now. We've got one more next week, but today's panel is awesome. I have been so excited about this panel. We have Elizabeth Briggs, Zodiac Wolves, baby. I mean, you guys, if you're in the paranormal romance scene, you know Zodiac Wolves. Amazing. We've got Jen L. Gray. I don't know. The woman has written 1 million shifter books. I don't know how. Okay, it's probably not 1 million. I think it's like over 50 or something wolf books. Her latest one is Wolf Mate, and it's awesome. I read it myself. It's fantastic. Also love Zodiac Wolves, of course. All these authors I've read and I love. And then we have Kel Carpenter. And Kel Carpenter, she's really known for the Immortal and Vices series, Reject Me, Covet Me, Touched by Fire. That's not Immortals and Vice, but that one's great too. So anyways, you guys know who these people are. So before I just keep blabbing, let me just pull them on because they're awesome. All right, here we go. Here comes Elizabeth Briggs.
Hi.
You're here. Like, so excited. Okay. All right. I'm pulling in Jade Gray. Hi. Okay. And then Kel. Oh my goodness. Hi. Oh, I think this is exactly where we were right before it kicked off in the live. It just like, it remembered it and just right up into it. Yay. Well, first of all, thank you guys so much for being here. Like, seriously, obviously you can tell I'm a big fan. The groups are big fans of yours. Like, you guys just write magic. Like, you're amazing. And I just really appreciate you guys taking the time today to talk with us. So thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, so what we're going to kick off with is for the people who don't know you, right? So let's go around and talk about what genre you write and then what series you're most known for. So we can spread the love of books, right, on all of us. So who wants to go first? Anyone? Okay, I see. Let's give it to Jen because she just did a live with me recently. Let's put Jen on the spot.
Okay. So
all right. Okay.
Yeah. And so first off, thanks for having me.
But I'm excited.
Secondly, I'm Jen L. Gray. I write urban fantasy, paranormal romance, and even some romantasy. The series I'm most known for, I put Wolfmaid on the image just because that's my current release, but we'll just go with that since that's the picture. So that is my current trilogy that I'm releasing at the moment, with book 3 releasing in like 2 weeks. So it's all my books have fated mates. That's, I love fated mates, so that's why I write it. Action, suspense, romance, all the things. So yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Elizabeth, how about you?
Hey. I'm Elizabeth Briggs. I'm most known for the Zodiac Wolves series, which the last book just came out like a month ago. So it's all wrapped up now.
Yay.
I guess
that's
already.
Well, I mean, you don't know tropes, Elizabeth. What's your favorite tropes that you write?
My favorite tropes. I like enemies to lovers. I like whenever there's some kind of conflict between them that they have to overcome. I like the one bed trope. I like forbidden romance. I like everything.
Awesome. Oh my gosh, we have a lot of comments already, you guys. I just pulled the window over here because we're all over the place. So I just pulled the one from the big group. Lots of people are on watching. Okay. No worries or anything. Okay. All right. Kel, how about you?
I am Kel Carpenter, and oh crap, I don't even remember what else we were supposed to say.
What are you most known for? What genre do you write?
Paranormal romance, urban fantasy romance. I'm going into romantasy, my romantasy era. And I'm probably most known for Reject Me, since that's also the book that I picked for the picture, so makes sense.
Yeah. So, Kel, you don't know this, actually. I don't think I've ever told you this, but Touched by Fire, right? The Demons of New Chicago, right? I'm saying that right. I didn't get the name wrong on book. Sometimes I'm terrible with names. I'd be really embarrassed. But just full disclosure, if I say it wrong, I'm so sorry, you guys, at some point. So, so your book was the first one I saw in a Facebook ad that pulled me in. The very first one. I had just started Kindle Unlimited, and I got Touched by Fire, Demons in New Chicago was the very first ad years ago. I saw it. And your ad was so good. Like it was the sitting on the throne thing. And you know what I'm talking about?
Because there was one ad in particular that did real good. And yeah, it had like a demon king on a throne kind of look, and it was solid.
Yeah, it pulled me in. I read it immediately, and then I freaking loved it. And the surreal thing to me though is now like I'm talking to you. It's just the weirdest thing. It's like I saw it like for all of you, right? Like I saw it on Facebook. All of you I met through, Amazon or through the group or whatever, but I just didn't, it's just so surreal, just to sit here and see all of you. All right, okay, I'll stop. I'm kind of fangirling at the moment, to be honest. I can't help myself.
People, except for Jen. She's good.
She's
I'm an alien.
I was going to say, are you an alien? Oh, so you guys, let's start off with something a little bit funny here. So do you have like a good review story? Like anything, what's been the most kind of bizarre or unusual or shocking review that you've gotten?
I got one where people 1-starred me. I get this quite a bit because I'm not Patricia Briggs. And
yes,
I get that all the time. I have one in particular that was like, this author is not Patricia Briggs, so I'm 1-starring it. And I'm like, well, maybe you should just read the name on the book.
It's so, because it's like Elizabeth Briggs is your name. It's not like
it's not a pen name. My last name is actually Briggs. Like we just have the same last name. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to write something kind of similar to her.
Actually, I've defended you in Facebook groups before I knew you, before I had this group, I've been in Facebook groups and people have said, oh, she wants to be Patricia Briggs, and I'm like, no, dude, entirely different, So, but anyways, that's funny. I bet you get real tired of it now though, right?
Sometimes I get asked if we're related too, but as far as I know, we're not. Briggs is my husband's last name, actually. I write under my married name, which is like even more rare, I think.
Is it? I didn't know that.
I think so. Everybody writes under a pen name or their maiden name. Because, like, what if they get divorced? But my maiden name was so common that I was like, there's already a million authors with this last name. So,
yeah. It never even occurred to me. I started writing and I'm using my married name. I love my name. Like, I do not like my maiden name at all. I'm not a fan of my maiden name. So I don't think I would ever write under it. But, I feel kind of bad saying that now, like a family's watching it.
You're like, what?
Sorry, Dad. Oops. Oh, that's so funny. Okay. All right. How about you? Anyone else have a good story? I don't want to be plain.
Well, I have. This is actually a recent review, and it really tickled me. So apparently, I have acid burned my character's throat a lot to show fear. And they gave me a really good review, but the review is around how she thinks I suffer with acid reflux, and she hopes I get help for that. Anyways, I loved it. So, and also sent it to my editor. So thank you. We're gonna make sure we catch that more often.
It's so funny. People are so funny with what they complain about. It's like.
I think she was concerned, and I appreciate the concern, So.
That's too funny. How about Kel? Anything? You got anything, girl?
I don't have anything funny, so I'm like.
What does it have to be funny?
I kind of feel like it does, though. Like we had 2 funny ones. Like I don't know. I've gotten review bombed a little bit for one of my books had 2 moms in it. And they said I was pushing a political agenda with that one. So that was interesting. I was like, well, how do you not know I don't have 2 moms? Like, you don't know. So. Yeah,
that's kind of brutal. Yeah. Reviews can be harsh too. Like it can be absolutely, do you guys actually, a lot of authors tell me they don't even read reviews anymore. Do you guys even pay attention to them much anymore?
I read them.
Oh, you do?
them.
I read them when
Yeah.
it first releases, and
Yeah.
then I stop after that because, like, usually your initial batch is kind of what you're going to get for the most part. So
Yeah, I read them for like the acid one. It's funny. I don't think they meant anything mean by it. I think, but like things like that, like, hey, you know what? Maybe I do use that too much for fear, and I need to vary it up. Granted, sometimes it's hard to vary it too much, but like I like to look for constructive things. But of course, you see the mean things when you read through.
Yeah.
It. Like I've been told, how is she a bestseller or anything? Those are always so. I love reading those.
That's so mean. People are so mean. I'm just like, oh my gosh. Yeah, for sure.
I think they forget with technology and everything. I sometimes think people forget that there's somebody else on the other end.
Yeah, they do. They do.
I don't think they're trying to be mean. I just think they forget. So
yeah, no, I think you're right. Or like, a lot of people I talk to think of reviews as a way, obviously, for other readers, right? Like that's what most authors will say. Reviews are for readers. But then I also hear people say, well, this is my only way I can communicate with the author. Like they think that the review is the outlet to give feedback, constructive criticism to the author. So it's just interesting, But when I see like the 1-star reviews off of a book that's a really good bestseller, I'm just like, that feels a little bit harsh, like it's a best-selling book. It's obviously done pretty well. A lot of people love it. I mean, sure, maybe they don't like it for one, but it seems a little bit kind of like, I don't know.
I'll tell you, I think those are the funniest ones usually.
Really?
I'll go on Goodreads and I'll read some of my favorite books 1-stars, and they usually are hilarious.
Yeah.
It's usually people who don't like the genre or the trope, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I had one for
the spice.
my YA book that I wrote many years ago. It was a time travel book, and there was a 1-star that said, I got this, and I don't like time travel, and I hated it. And then they went and got the second book, and they wrote a 1-star review on that one instead. I still hate time travel. And I'm like, why are you torturing yourself?
Why are you reading it?
Like, if you didn't like the genre, just don't read it, Just don't.
And I love the conflicting reviews. Like, for one, I had one where the title was XXX rated because, and then the one right below it, I'd let my 16-year-old read this.
Like when they say it's too spicy and then not spicy enough. Like I get those a lot back to
back. The best ones are the too spicy. It had too many sex scenes in it.
Someone on here, Dominique Steele said, make the bad reviewers into characters and then unalive them in the next story because they are the villain. That's quite funny, actually. I'm not recommending you do that. I'm just it was a funny comment. It's just, it's weird, right? It's kind of a crazy thing with the reviews, but I think the key is, right, just to have a thick skin as an author, right? You kind of just have to do it. You're not going to please everyone.
Don't read reviews.
Or don't read reviews, So I saw one the other day, and there was a Facebook group. It was a psychological thriller readers group. And someone really bashed Haunting Adeline, And it was really mean, actually. And it was kind of like, but that's not a psychological thriller.
No,
so that's like my pet peeve is when people don't recognize what a book is, like what it's meant to be, and then gives them a bad rating because of the genre or the trope. It's like, well, that's obviously not for you. It's a Darkstalker romance. So anyways, all right. So how did you guys all start writing? Like, what's the story there? Have you always written, or did you ever have any other jobs? Did you, Jen, I think you told me a little bit of the story before on the live, didn't you? I think you had.
Oh, I don't remember.
Yes.
Well, I worked in accounting for 15, 16 years. I was actually a former CPA, not tax expertise, but yeah, so I did that. So that's one reason why I have a pen name, because I started it out as a hobby and I didn't want my peers to know.
Sure.
Especially, I don't know. Not that all accountants don't like paranormal romance, but but yeah, and so and then I've always loved reading, so it just kind of was a natural progression. And then I learned I didn't have to know editing rules. That was always what held me back. And then I was like, okay, I can try this. So here I am.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's cool. How about Kel, Liz? Have you always written?
Oh.
I started writing as a teenager, I guess. I used to write like a lot of bad poetry when I was a teenager, and I wrote a lot of like first chapters and did a lot of world building, and then never actually finished a book. That was me for like a long time. And then after I finished college, I had like a 1 month gap between when I started my new job, and it happened to be November. And I heard about this NaNoWriMo thing, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do this National Novel Writing Month and write a book in 1 month. And that was the first time I ever actually like finished a book. And then I did it again the next November and finished a book, and they were all terrible, really bad. And then I finished my third one, and that one was actually pretty good. And I got an agent with that, and then she couldn't sell it, and then so on and so forth. And so like, I think my fifth book was the first one that actually became published, and I was like in my 30s then. So it took a long time.
But it paid off. I mean, you're amazing. Zodiac Wolves is amazing.
So I guess, yeah, that's my story. I've been writing since I was a teenager. Didn't actually become successful until my 30s, basically.
Who did you read as a teenager? You said you did a lot of reading.
Oh, I read lots of fantasy when I was a teenager. Yeah, lots of fantasy.
Okay.
Like high fantasy, epic fantasy, Robert Jordan, like Jacqueline Carey, I think, was out then. Or maybe that was in my 20s. I don't know. Lots, all sorts of stuff.
Cool. Awesome. How about you, Kel?
I started writing when I was a teenager. I actually wrote my first book at 15. And that one is the first one that I published. I didn't publish it until I was 21 though. After lots of edits. And I've just kind of kept going from there.
Wow. That's awesome. 15.
I can't even
Holy
imagine.
cow.
I was very determined as a teenager. I don't know. I don't have a hard time motivating myself for most things if it's something I want to do, and I wanted to write a book. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do it then.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. That's really impressive, actually. I never even thought about writing until recently. Like, I've had a story in my head for a long time, and it's been a lot of people telling me, and I don't think of myself as, you guys probably hear that all the time, I imagine, but I don't think of myself that way at all. But at 15, I can't even imagine having the confidence to try. That's amazing, really.
Well, thank you.
Okay, so let's hear a little bit about your books, right? So Kel, since you were just talking a second ago, so you said that you're probably most known for Reject Me.
Probably, yeah. That one or Lucifer's Daughter, one of the two.
Lucifer's, oh yeah, that's right. Lucifer's Daughter. Yes, that's right. And it's a Why Choose, Lucifer's Daughter.
So I was earlier to the Why Choose when it started to become more popular, and Lucifer's Daughter was my first one. And that one did pretty well. I won't lie. That's the book that kind of made my career for what it is now. And then Reject Me, I don't know. That was the book that I didn't think was going to do very well. And then people really loved it. And I won't lie, I was really surprised. Like, I'm not just saying that. I was kind of shocked. So
Really? Yeah. Well, it's a cool world, and a bunch of different authors, are involved, right? With different books. That's kind of cool. That's a cool thing when that happens.
Yeah,
so,
it was great. Like, and I really enjoyed running the Immortal Vices and Virtues world for 3 seasons. Like, it's been awesome.
It's 3 seasons.
Yeah,
okay, so
3 now.
So Covet Me is season 2? Season 3.
Yeah, and season 3 is
sorry, I didn't know that.
That's my unicorn that Jen pointed out. It's season 3. So
and you love writing unicorn shifters, right?
I'm not so sure about that anymore. After I tried it, I did a thing. I like to say, don't knock it till you try it. So I tried it. Now,
go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it was just now I'll knock it. Like, it's.
So was there an issue? Because I haven't read it, so I don't know. So you've got a horn, and then like, is it 2 appendage issue? Is there like, what's going on? I don't know. I have no idea.
No, I think people wondered if the guy was a unicorn because it was on the cover, and that's usually like the common thing, and it was the girl that was. So I don't.
Oh, right. Okay.
I don't know.
Huh. Okay, well, we'll come back to Reject Me in a second. What, do you guys ever have anything that you've written that you're like, I never again? Like, no, never again. No?
I don't know. I can't think of it.
Okay.
I keep thinking about like making horny puns for her unicorn book. Like, I hope that you put some in there in your book.
Oh, the unicorn was kind of an asshole. Like, I don't know if we can say that word on live, but
It's done.
You just did.
People ask me every live, like, can I swear? I'm like, I don't know, I guess. I don't think they're going to take us down. So, anyways, all right, cool. All right, so let me just go back. So Reject Me, it's the Mortal Vices series. It takes place in the world. You want to give a little bit of just info about that so people know if they want to go and grab it?
So Immortal Vices and Virtues, the world is basically Earth, but then portals opened up over the different years, and they each went to somewhere different. Like one was a world of shifters, one was a world of gods, you know, different things like that. So magic leaked into the humans, and now there are very few humans left. And our government's completely collapsed, and houses now rule. So Reject Me kind of starts off with a shifter that can't shift, and she ends up paired with the son of an alpha, like the alpha of the entire house. And she rejects him, and that doesn't go over so hot with him. So she ends up getting booted out of the house, and we'll just go.
Don't want to spoil it too much, but man, I love a good Rejected Mates. And all of you guys do Rejected Mates. All of you do, right? Jen, you do too, right? You're for sure. You've done, yeah. I don't know if I've actually read a Rejected Mates from you. I'm trying to think. Wolfmate really isn't one at all.
No, that's more forbidden.
Yeah, forbidden, yeah.
I've never actually, I am going to actually do a rejected story at some point, but I've had rejected themes, just not straight out like.
Straight out,
those two,
Yeah. And Elizabeth, yours was Zodiac Wolves, man. That's hard. That's a definite Rejected Mate for sure. Yeah. How did you start writing Rejected Mates? Like, did you start reading them and you love them and you just started writing them, or like?
Yeah, I think I was reading them and I kind of had an idea for it, but wasn't really sure what to do. And then I got the idea of doing the packs based on the zodiac signs, and then it all kind of came together from there. Because I'd wanted to do wolf shifters for a long time, but I didn't have an idea that felt like unique enough until I came up with that one. So for me, like, I always want to write vampires, but I don't have a like spark for it yet in my mind. So like someday I'll get one and I'll write it, but until I have that like something that makes mine different, I don't write it, if that makes sense. So until I got the like zodiac idea, I didn't do wolf shifters. So that's why I did. And Rejected Mate was like popular at the time, and I was really enjoying reading them. Like I really liked Jamin Eve's Shadow Beast shifters.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Inspired me to write my own, but like I didn't want to like copy hers, but like the same kind of feel as hers, if that makes sense. So that people would be like, oh, you should read these two books. Or if you like one, you should read the other. So anyway, if you like my series, you should go read her series if you haven't read it already.
Yeah. No, I love them both. And you're right. They're very unique from one another, different from one another. But if you're vibing off of one, then you're going to likely enjoy the other.
Yeah.
You know, and that's cool. That's cool. That's awesome. You want to talk a little bit about what Zodiac Wolves is about?
Oh,
other than Rejected Mates?
So it's about Ayla. She's the half-human outcast from the Cancer pack. All the packs are based on zodiac signs. And she's mated to the future alpha of the Leo pack, and they are the Cancer pack's worst enemies. And he rejects her, and then the Leos slaughter like her entire pack, basically. And so she runs away, and she's basically captured by the mysterious Lost 13 pack, and has to join them to get her revenge against the Leos. And then it all kind of goes sideways from there as things happen, as they do.
Yeah.
And I always liked making the Leos the bad guys because I am a Leo myself. So
really,
yeah, I'm right on the line of the I'm on the exact line of the Cancer Leo cusp. So that's why I did Cancer versus Leos, because I relate to both of them. So.
Well, Well, what star signs is everybody here then? So we know what you are, Liz. How about you, Kel and Jen?
Scorpio.
Scorpio. Aquarius. I'm a Gemini. I don't know if you could tell.
I'm not good with all that stuff. I mean, it's interesting, but I can't. You know, some people really can be like, "Oh, I can't do that."
I'm pretty hardcore Gemini. Everyone always maybe like, yeah, you're a Gemini. Well, that's cool. Okay, how about you then, Jen? About Wolfmate, right? Your most recent release.
So my most recent release, Wolfmate. Okay, so long story short, right? Which means I'm gonna talk a novel. So
it's okay.
This Skylar. Sorry, I'm on book 2 of my next trilogy, so I've got to remember names. Skylar is the main female character. She gets accepted into this school based on some reasons that she doesn't understand, and it's prestigious. Anyway, she goes there and she gets thrown into the supernatural world, and she winds up being the fated mate to the alpha who attends there, who's also the quarterback, because I love football stuff. Anyways, and so he can't be with her because she's human, but there's more to her than just being human. So it's a whole forbidden love, like what she really is, and the secret society that's kind of lurking, that's going to come up, and their hidden agenda and how they want her for that. So it's just all kinds of fun. So it's got vampires, witches, and wolf shifters in it. So it was fun to write.
Yeah. And it has a cliffhanger at the end, but
two's out,
all my books,
y'all, if you read one of my books, book 1 and book 2 are always going to end in cliffhangers. Just know that ahead of time. So, but I release them quickly. So normally when I start releasing them, the next one comes out within 6 weeks. So it's not like, if it was going to be a year, I wouldn't be that mean, but it's 6 weeks. So I think y'all can handle it.
That's not bad.
But, yeah, that's not bad. Say that, and I'm just like hiding.
Everyone here does cliffhangers, right? Yeah. Cliffhangers are smart because it's like it counts the reader to pick up the second book. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of readers don't like cliffhangers.
Get reviews though. You always get reviews. Yeah,
those are reviews that I ignore. So if we're going to talk about reviews that we don't pay attention to, if you say you hate cliffhangers, it is not going to convince me to not write cliffhangers.
Or this could have all been
motivated to write them.
Do you get those? This could have just been one book, and I'm like, do you read trilogy on the series title?
Yeah, they want like a 300,000 word book, and I'm like, not happening.
No, I love cliffhangers. Personally, I love them. I don't mind waiting. There's so many books out there to read. It's fine. You know what I mean? And then also, you just go into the authors group and you drop a post. Oh my gosh! Like not a spoiler, you know. And then everyone starts commenting, and it's great. It's just a lot of fun. I think I've made all my book besties because of talking. You know, like my not book besties. I mean, they're my book besties, but they're my best friends now. Like all my close girlfriends are all through us talking about a book, probably because of cliffhanger, you know, or something shocking that happened. You know, it's just fun. I think when people complain about cliffhangers, I think sometimes they haven't experienced that, you know, or they don't. I don't know.
I love to hate them. You know, as a reader, I used to get cliffhangers too, and it was fun. It was emotional. It was the feels. So that's what the three of us are trying to do, right, ladies? We just want y'all to feel.
Yeah, that's good.
Whether you love it or you hate it, you feel strongly about
it. So tell me, does all your family and friends now know that you write paranormal romance, or is it still? Like Elizabeth, I think it's probably your name is so people know. But like, do you ever run into any weird things like the beginning where you're trying to explain to someone that you're writing werewolf romance, shifter romance, and they're like, "What are you writing?" You know, like, right? Do you ever have any? Do you still? Or
well, right now I just say, because it is true, I have a publishing company. You know, I just say I own a publishing company, and I leave it at that. A lot easier, because then you get into what's a wolf shifter, and then the conversation goes downhill.
Lexi C. Foss said that on the last live. She says actually she stopped referring to herself as an author when she talks to people. She says publisher.
Yeah.
Because then it kind of gets around all of those and there's more respect apparently, which is kind of shocking. But
idea. I'm gonna steal that.
Yeah, she does. She says she tells everyone else she's a publisher.
Yep.
And
like your daughter's friends' parents, and they're like, "What do you do?" And you're like, "Oh, I write books." And they're like, "What kind of books?" And you're like,
Yep.
"Romance."
Kids
You can say romance, and then they're like, "Oh."
And then they'll be like, "Well, maybe I've read you." What, you know? And it's like,
yeah, right.
I'm like, no.
No.
Look, I tell my family, I'm like, you guys can read it, but I don't want to hear about it if you read it. So, and then my mom went around telling everyone I wrote demon orgies, so that was great. Like, we're talking about Thanksgiving dinner conversations. My mom was, oh, Kel writes demon orgies, and I'm just like, one orgy, and I get forever labeled as that's what I write. Like, never mind that there's like 30 books, and none of them have that. The one book that does, boom, can't live it down.
So what do you think is tougher to explain, talk about, or like more awkward when you tell someone that you write steam or paranormal? Like, which one is the one that, like, when you're talking to someone, are they more kind of shocked by?
Steam.
Do you think?
Steam.
no, paranormal.
I usually don't tell people I write paranormal because they don't seem to, like, normal people don't really understand what that means. So I usually
Yes.
Like sci-fi, and I'm like, no, not like sci-fi.
yeah.
Or like ghost hunters, right? They think it's like the paranormal TV
really
shows,
great
right?
is when my kid goes to school and say,
Oh, you
sorry,
say it one
my
time, Jen.
computer's acting up. Did I?
What you said was really great. You left us on a cliffhanger, to be fair.
It was on purpose. No, my computer started doing weird things. I was just saying it's really great when my kid goes to school and she'll tell the teachers, like, they'll ask, "What do your parents do?" My mom writes books I can't read.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's like, one day, maybe, not now. I just think it's interesting, right? Like, for me, it's like so normal. Like, paranormal is so normal now, because I read so much of it. It's not strange. And I think,
Well, it's like Twilight.
Yeah, that really helped, actually. Twilight really helped, I think, open up people's eyes and minds to paranormal stories, for sure. And Netflix is helping. I mean, all the different paranormal shows we have, True Blood on HBO. Do you guys like True Blood at all? It's a little bit.
I haven't watched it.
Well, it's a little bit dark.
I like
dark. It's not typical. Then you would like it. Yeah. You would like it. We, my husband and I started watching it. The very first episode has S&M in it, and like so no one's watched it but me.
I've seen it
on here.
I read the books way back in the day.
Oh, I love the books.
Yeah,
totally different from the series, though, right? Like they, But we were watching it, and it was really kind of out there, like as far as Paranormal Romance goes. The first episode, and then the hanging up in a room and all that stuff. And my husband was just like, "This isn't for me, babe." I was like, "Okay." We turned it off to something else, and then like a year later, everyone's talking about True Blood. I'm like, so I started watching it by myself, and I think I've watched the whole series like 3 times now, like the whole like 5 seasons or 6 seasons or whatever it is. It's great. But anyways, stuff like that. That's what I was just getting to. Is it like it's opened it up, right? Mm-hmm. Which has helped, I think, for sure. So
I feel like we need a new like Wolf Shifter TV series. Like there's just not anything out there right now.
Yeah.
It's like I'm trying to think. Like when I try and compare my book to a TV show, I'm like Teen Wolf, but not teenagers, but not really. Like there's really no good Shifter TV show. So I think they need to get on that.
Yeah.
There really isn't.
The originals, maybe.
Yeah. The originals.
Bitten in Canada. Bitten out of Canada is werewolves.
Yeah. Okay. I haven't seen that one.
I hadn't either.
Oh, it's good. But it's I can't remember if it's a book series. I think it is a book series. I think it is a book series. Yeah. Yeah. So speaking of TV series, do you guys ever have dreams of any of your books going to TV?
Of course.
Yeah.
Or maybe, all of you? Yeah. Has there been any work on it at all, or just dreams? Maybe one day if you get contacted kind of thing. Or how do you even go about it? I don't even know.
My YA series got like optioned, which means that they buy the rights for it basically for something, but that's happened twice, but nothing ever happens after that. So I don't know. It's so hard to actually get your stuff made into anything. So
Yeah.
a lot
And
of
then
times
to like
they just
keep
sit
full
on-
control.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
that's the
For
dream.
sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, actually, I have a funny question for you. So I asked this on a couple of different lives. Jen, I can't remember if I've asked you or not, because I know we did like a panel a few weeks ago or not. So act surprised if I've asked you. Okay. So of all your characters in your books, who would you, do you know where this is going? Does anyone know this question?
Yeah, I do
No?
know. I do know.
You do know
That's
it.
okay.
Oh, okay. All right. So much for surprise. Okay. So
Well, don't be
who would,
surprised.
okay, who would you shag, marry, and
Knew
kill?
it. I was like, is this Mary Kill? Yes, it is.
Okay, in fairness, you asked a different question, so I am shocked.
Oh, I did. Okay, good. Didn't mean like to completely shock you. Well, no, I didn't want to shock you. Yeah. Actually, when I was at FFB in England and Manchester, and I was facilitating the authors panel with the Twisted Sisters and Stephanie Hudson and Ryan Stacks and all that on the panel, someone came up from the audience and asked that question. And she actually whispered to me, she says, "Can I say the F word?" And I was like, I don't know about that. I was like,
Yeah.
"Can you say shag instead?" And she was
Yeah.
like, "Okay, I'll say shag." And we were in England, so it was perfect, you know. And anyways, all the authors laughed. It was really funny. So now I've been asking everybody. So who wants to go first?
Is it across all your books of all time? Because I'm like, I can't even think of that many characters.
I know.
Can we narrow it?
Yeah, I think across all well, whatever's easiest for you to answer. Yeah.
It's even harder when you write Why Choose, because then you got like a lot of options.
So many.
Oh yeah.
So marry, kill, and okay.
Shag, number
She's
one.
writing it down. You're taking notes.
Mary.
I'm writing it down because I'll forget by the time. Because my brain, it doesn't work. That's hard.
It's really hard.
No pun intended.
Love it. Jen, you got jokes today. You did good.
Got the puns.
Yeah.
Yeah. Puns, that's more like it. Although Liz is working on the horn pun for the unicorn. We'll hear that by the end of the video, I'm sure.
No, I've already.
Kel has inspired her for her next series.
Yeah. Her next unicorn's romance.
Yep. The books
He's
that will never
Liz,
be.
what's next? What's next for you?
I feel like that's an easier question than the shag, marry, kill question.
Yes.
Right?
It is.
It was supposed to make you laugh. I don't know, but I do want to hear what's next for everybody. So maybe while that's brewing, I know Jen's making notes. I think she's.
I feel like I need to be taking notes. She's taking
Jen, were you the A++ student in class in school? Was that you? You're in the front row. Excuse me, Miss Accountant.
Yeah, y'all, I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd. That's fine. I'm okay. I've accepted it.
I don't know.
I'm just looking at the words, trying to put a face next to them, and it's just not working. I'm wanting the answer to pop up for me. Anyway. Oh, what's next? Right. Kel,
what?
Let's do what's next. Yeah, we'll move on. You know, if you guys think of anything, then great. Liz, what's next? Because you finished off Zodiac Wolves, right?
What's next? I'm writing a new Romantasy that I'm starting now. It's it's inspired by tarot, and but I might try and get it published by a publisher, so it might not be out for like 2 years. So we'll see how it goes. Or it might be out this fall. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. If it's not out for 2 years, I'll probably write something else on the side too. But I'm also doing Romantasy now, taking a break from Paranormal Romance to fantasy, which fantasy really is my true love. So I'm going back to that. And I have written it before. I have a couple other fantasy series, but they are not as popular. So going back to that. So yeah.
Well, it's really popular right now still, right? Romantasy.
Yeah, definitely.
It's been popular. I mean, ACOTAR really did a lot for it, I think, from Blood and Ash, and then now obviously with Fourth Wing. So,
yeah, exactly. So I'm going back to, and I'm still going through chemo right now. I have colon cancer, and I'm hoping to be done with that in the summer. So then I'm hoping after that I can get back to writing more. So fingers crossed. So
Yeah, I hope so.
yeah.
I wasn't going to ask. I was going to let you open that door if you wanted to or not. So, but that's nice. I'm sure people appreciate to hear.
Yeah.
You know, everyone cares about you a
Thank
lot. You're very loved for sure.
Thank you.
So, well, hopefully, you know, August kick cancer's butt.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
That's right. You did it once, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
And Kel, you said you've been reading or writing Romantasy. Didn't you say that earlier at the beginning? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm technically it's a co-write, so I'm not sure how much I'm allowed to say. Kind of.
Oh sure. Yeah. No worries. Yeah.
It's got dragons, so that's fun. And I actually had the idea for it probably 6 or 7 actually years ago now. Wow, it's been a while. But I was waiting until dragons were more of a thing again. And then Fourth Wing came out and I was like, yes, it's finally.
It is. It's so funny to see trends because something like that comes out and then you look at the bestseller list and it's like lots of dragons, you know, it's already starting. People are like, oh, I'm on it. I'm getting that out, you know?
Yeah.
It's so funny. And like with covers too, like covers have trends too, right? We were talking about that recently. So yeah. Well, cool. And then Jen, how about you? Are you still staying paranormal romance? Are you thinking about doing Romantasy at all?
No, actually, I'm writing a Romantasy. I'm getting on the train with Kel and Elizabeth. I'm actually writing book 2 of it. I just the first one's with the editor, but so that story I don't mind sharing. I'm about to put it up for pre-order, so that's even better. I got to get my elevator pitched, but so this one is a villain gets the girl kind of Romantasy story where he's the unsilly king and she's the silly princess, and the silly killed his parents, and so it's a revenge story and casted them out of their kingdom. So it's a revenge story. So he goes to kidnap her and bring her home to kill her, to break down the veil, but they're fated mates. So, you know, all the fun stuff. And she gets thrown into a gauntlet with other prisoners where she has to fight to stay alive, and, you know, all the stuff. That, I guess that's all I'm going to say at this point. But yeah, so one bed trope, forced proximity.
Well, I want to read it now.
Thanks.
Yeah. All the good stuff in there.
All the good stuff in there. So yeah.
That's awesome.
And then I have my answers now. I
okay, yes, we have answers. Yes. Jen gets an A+.
All right. So my kids are near, so we're gonna do that one last. So Mary Killian, he is from the Shadow City world. He's like, kind, considerate, loyal, all the kind of things you would want in a husband, and attractive, of course, right? He's also from Shadow City. I named him Dick Harding. We'll kill him. He's a bad guy. And then the last one will be Tavish, who is the shadow daddy, if you will, in the current book that I'm writing. So there we go.
Awesome. Thank you. Well done. Thank you very much. That was very good. Did you guys think of any, or no? We're just moving on. We can just move on. It's okay. We're moving on. Okay, we're moving on.
What? Okay, I can do it. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Liz.
Just for the Zodiac Wolves series, because I can't wrap my head around any other, like, all my books.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so for Zodiac Wolves, I think the F word, the banging, would be Caden. Character. Mary, I would do Ethan probably, because he has like a steady job. He's a good guy. Also good in bed though. And Kill would probably be Roxandra. She's one of the villains and she is pretty evil, and I would have my revenge. There you go.
There you go. Yay. Awesome. Awesome.
You have to now, since
you kind of do.
Everyone does one series, and it's easier.
Okay, so if we stick to one series, we'll use my Magic Wars series then. So the banging joke. Sorry, Jen. I'm looking at your face as I'm saying this, and so your face just kind of cracks me up a little bit. I think I'll go with Ronan, the main character, main male character. Mary, I'll probably do August, who is another main male character. And Kill would definitely be Lorcan because he's crazy and no bueno. Like crazy in the bad way, not in like the kind of redeemable shadow daddy sort of way.
Is this the one
Awesome.
that your mom refers to as the demon situation? Is this book the demon situation that your mom likes to refer to at Thanksgiving?
No, not that one. Well, that would be a hard one to do too, because there's 4 guys in that one. So
Hard is a great word for that.
Well, speaking of that word, a couple people said in the comments. Let's see here. Yes, Killian, love him. Yes, kill Dick. Dick Harding makes me giggle every time he popped up. It took me a second to understand what. It took me a second to yeah. And then let's see. Yes, Dick needs to go, but I'm in book 2, and Julia's really her brother? Question mark. Yeah.
You'll have to find out.
Yeah. Sorry, the comments are popping up kind of from all of you guys. So yeah. Okay. So I got a question. So Jen and Liz, have you guys ever considered writing White Shoes?
I have a bunch of White Shoes.
Do you?
Yeah, I have Sarah.
I didn't know that.
I have Her Elemental Dragons. I have a book called Hollywood Roommates. So I have 2 series and 1 standalone that's White Shoes. Yeah.
Okay. I told you guys, forgive me. No, I don't know.
I haven't written anything since, I think my last one came out in 2019. That series started, maybe. 2000, maybe. So I haven't written any in a couple of years. So I switched back to male female because it was getting too hard for me to keep track of all the guys, honestly. I was like, my brain can't handle it.
That's going to be like, I think probably one of the hardest things about, I mean, I don't know, I don't write it, but like to make sure that all the guys are different from each other.
Really hard. And especially if you do, like I was doing all their point of views, and it's really hard to keep all these characters and have them be interesting, and it's a lot to organize mentally. So that's why I stopped writing it. I got too old, basically.
Well, I always, I think a really good White Shoes that pulls me in is one where I never forget whose POV I'm reading.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, and then, but the ones where I'm like, well, let me flip back and try to see whose chapter I'm in. I'm like, those are harder for me. So yeah, anyways, well, cool. Okay. So what would you, so, okay. Oh, okay. I know one. So, what is the strangest thing that you have? I'm not trying to do all silly questions here. I just in the last panel, someone said, "Oh, I wanted more silly questions." So this one, I'm like throwing more like silly, kind of interesting, bizarre questions. So I hope that's okay. But like, what is the strangest thing that you've Googled for your books?
Oh,
or that you did, or like the FBI could be calling you about, you know, or just
many. There's so
something.
many.
Oh, there's so many. Okay. Do you have one?
So many. Like, I mean, like, well, for instance, one of my stories, I really do a lot of research. Like, I know it's fantasy and romance, but there's some things that are just human that you have to deal with. And one was I wanted a house to explode from a gas leak because he was trying to kill someone. And this is actually in the Destined Mates trilogy. So I was like, well, wolf shifters would smell something, right? So how could I make this happen? So I was Googling how to explode a house and hide the gas smell. I've also, anyways, if it was built before 1938, they didn't add, just FYI, if anybody ever needs to know that information. Anyway, but it took like a day to get there, but that's okay. And then, you know, and then I've gotten somewhere, it's like, I've Googled stuff and it's like, if you're like, you know, how long does it take to bleed out from stabbing yourself or stabbing someone in the heart? And I get a lot of that. If you're thinking about committing suicide, please call this.
Bad moment to laugh.
Yeah, no, but I mean, you know, like, yeah. How about y'all?
Okay, that's good.
I can't think of anything super funny. I don't know. I like for the Zodiac Wolves, I did a lot of research on like places and like I spent so much time figuring out how long it would take them to travel from like one part of Canada to the other side of Canada, or like to like across the US. And I was just like, this is so annoying. I'm just adding in teleporting because like, it takes so long to drive by car to all these places. Oh my God. Yeah. Like, you don't realize how big the country and Canada are until you start plotting travel times for your characters. And then you're like, oh my God.
Yep.
So long.
I had that issue with my fantasy where trying to figure out like how long, like, so when I made the map, I had to make like a little legend and then sit there and measure out for how long each pace would be.
That's what I'm doing right now. I started doing my fantasy map and I was like, this is too big. I need to like scale this down because like they're going to be traveling for 3 years to get anywhere, right? Or I'm going to have to add in magic again.
Right.
Like, you don't realize how long it takes to go, and especially if you only have a horse. Oh my God, forget it. Or going on foot.
Yeah, it's gonna take like 3 years. Like,
well, if they have wings, like my fae have wings, you know, like at what speed can they fly? Like, like what's reasonable?
As an author, that probably no reader is ever going to care about, and we spend so much time thinking about this, like these minute details, right?
Yeah,
that's awesome. I actually Googled for me. Actually, I've said no information about what I'm writing. I've been very, very tight-lipped about it. But I did Google how fast an airplane goes.
Yeah.
So I could figure out, you know, because I was like, I don't know how fast an airplane goes. I don't know. It's fast, faster than a car, you know. But yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so what? Kel, did you say already what you've Googled? I don't think you did.
No, I think I got.
Are you getting out of it? Or you got something?
No. I got something for you.
Okay.
So I've Googled how long does chloroform knock someone out? That one probably has gotten me on some lists. How to dissolve the body?
I did that too.
What sort of bathtub do I need to be able to dissolve a body in without it ruining the bathtub? Like those sorts of questions.
How can you hide the smell of decomposition? That was one of mine.
Cat litter.
That's
like,
anyways,
learned so many good things related to murder as authors.
Most of my research really is battle related. Like,
you really don't want to piss off an author because they know so many ways to hide the body.
Seriously though, like there's a whole plan there. Like if it ever happens, I'm like, okay, so this is what we're gonna do step by step. Like I will know it. I have it memorized.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Anyway, I have a lot more I could share, but I don't think I should. So
you're probably on enough. Thanks for looking it up.
Yeah.
Okay, so my final question for you guys, actually it's 3 questions for each of you, is first of all, what's next? Is she writing them down? Is Jen getting her pen out to write? Okay, all right. So what's next if you haven't already told me? What book signings are you going to in the near future? And then last but not least, for all the aspiring authors that are watching, do you have any advice that you would give to someone? Because you all are so well experienced and you all have bestsellers. So you've done really well. Okay. Jen's got her notes written down. She's ready to go.
No, I just had the questions written down.
Oh, the questions.
Remember them.
Right. No, I love that. That's great. Kel, why don't you start?
Man, I knew you were going to call on me. I am.
I just picked on Jen, so I have to pick on someone else now.
So I'm writing a romantasy, and I can't give away more than what I already did before.
Okay.
I'm going to Imaginarium in like 2.5 weeks. And then I'm also in 2025, I'll be going to Imaginarium, Book Besties Forever, and Rare in New York City. And I think there's another one I want to say that I'm supposed to be attending with Jen in 2025. The one that's in Atlanta. I can't remember the acronym for it.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, it's in Douglasville. It's like, oh crap, did I lose y'all?
No, you're good.
No, you're good.
Okay. Sometimes that goes down. I don't know. Sorry. I'll by the time we get to me, I'll have it for us.
Okay,
cool. That works.
And then what was the last question again?
Do you have any advice for aspiring authors or people who want to write?
I would say write what you want to write and ignore the people around you and what they might think. Since everyone likes to give their opinions on that when you say you're writing a novel, and they love to then tell you like, oh, you should write so-and-so's memoir or things like that. I don't know if okay, so Elizabeth did this too. Like my family's really weird and they're like, you should write your great grandma's memoir and crap like that. Like, sorry if people are watching great grandma. Yeah. So
Yeah. My mom is always telling me to write a kid's book, and I'm like, I wrote YA and it didn't do that well, so now I'm writing romance. It sells better, but I don't want to write a picture book or anything. That's not where my brain goes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So ignore them and write what you want to write is my advice, and everything else you can figure out from there.
That's good advice. You know, when you just said that about the romance and the picture book, Liz, it just reminded me, it always surprises me that romance gets kind of like a negative connotation for people reading the books, because it is the #1 genre and selling. It is the #1, you know, and we have tons of people who join the group and they post anonymously because they're scared to, and that's absolutely fine. It's okay. But it's so interesting to me that it gets that negative connotation and people are hesitant to talk about it when it is the #1 best-selling genre of all book genres. You know, it kind of blows my mind.
Like, when are you going to write like a real book? And you're like, oh no, this is a real book.
It's a real book.
Many real books. Thank you very much.
It's a real book. Yep. Yep. So, all right. So what about you, Liz? With, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. What's next? We already
talked
about that, I think. I'm still working on it. And where I'm going to be, I'm going to be at Steamy LitCon, which is in Anaheim, California, Los Angeles, in August. And then in October, I'm hoping to go to Books, Gowns, and Crowns. It's in Seattle. As long as my health is okay, I can travel. Right now, I'm not really allowed to travel by airplane. So I had to cancel a Polycon and stuff. And then next year, I have like 1 million signings, also depending on my health. I'm doing Wild and Windy West. Romantasy BookCon is in LA, so I'll definitely do that one. A Polycon, hopefully I can go to. There's one called Love and Devotion here in LA. And then I'm hoping to do Rare London also again, because my husband is actually from London. So any excuse I have to like go back and visit his family and take it as a tax write-off is awesome. So it's like my second home, basically. So I'm hoping to do a lot of events next year. So fingers crossed.
I was gonna say my husband's from England too.
Oh yeah, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we go back like at least once a year usually. So I love to go to England. So as long as there's a signing there, I will go. And
awesome.
My advice to writers is finish the book, because like for so many years I would write a couple of chapters here and there and then just not finish it. And it's like I feel like until you can finish that first book, like you just don't, I don't know, you just really need to finish it, because otherwise you can just keep revising the first chapter over and over and over and over until, and it's never going to be good enough. It's like you just need to finish that story and get it done. And then you can go back and, you know, revise it or throw it away and start something new, you know, depending on how.
Yeah, that's great. That's great advice for sure. And the note taker of the class?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. All right. So
I'll stop. I'm sorry. I hope I'm not embarrassing you. I just was having so much fun with that.
No,
it's so much
you
fun.
Totally tease me. It's totally fine.
Well, I'm the annoying person that was in the front row of all my college classes with my hand up, and people literally were swearing under their breath when I raised my hand because they knew I was going to make the professor talk for 15 minutes on a topic that they didn't want to hear about. Like I'm like, you know, that's why I'm making, because we're kindred souls.
We're kindred spirits. Hey,
mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what's next for me? It is the Romantasy. I was talking, the villain gets the girl kind of trope. It will be on pre-order soon, so keep an eye out if you like that. And then book signings. I love book signings. Kel will attest to this because she knows. So the rest of this year, I am going to Seattle for Rain City author events. And then in October, I'm going to Covington. Is that right? The Vampire Diaries? Is that where was filmed, Covington, Georgia, for a signing down there.
Is that where it was filmed? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Okay. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So I'll be there in October. And then next year I've got Magic with the Bells, which is in Orlando in March. I'm trying to think. I have a lot. HEA, Happily Ever After, in Indianapolis. Then Kel and I will be at Romance Writers, and it's RAWR. I've already forgotten it. Sorry, but it's RAWR if you want to look for the group. I think, when is that, Kel? I don't remember. Do you remember?
I also do not remember.
I don't remember. I want to say June. We'll go with June. I don't know though.
Oh, I do
check me.
I think it's late June. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going with June. I feel confirmed. Oh, and I'm going to Knockout Book Bash in a couple of weeks this year. Anyways, I forgot about that one. That's in Louisville. But then I'm also going
Louisville. Sorry,
Louisville. How do you say it? I've heard it both ways.
Louisville.
Yeah,
Louisville.
That place.
Yeah.
That place.
Yeah,
What she said. I'm Southern.
I went there for work, and they educated me when I was there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So listen to Rebecca, because that's where I'll be. And then, anyways, and then I've got another one. I think Austin, Texas. Mm-hmm. And I know I'm forgetting something. Oh, Rare, New York City. Are you going to be at that, Elizabeth? If you can.
I think so.
Okay.
Dang, that's a lot.
So
that's awesome.
I love going to book signings. I love it. It's fun to hang out with readers and other authors.
Yeah, and you get to know, and you guys are all good friends, right? You all know each other. So that's cool. All right, awesome. And then what about your advice?
Oh, well, Jen? And I know we're running up on time, so I'll try to be quick. So my advice would be dependent on one thing. Are you running for a hobby? Are you running for a living? Like, do you want it to be a profession? If you're running for a hobby, write whatever you want. Like, do your thing and do it proud and well. If you're writing for a living where you want to make a career change, then you need to figure out what genre you want to write in. Make sure it's something that you love to write, because you need to stay in your lane for a hot minute until you get some traction, at least in my opinion. Other people may not have that opinion, and that's completely fine. But and then research the tropes that are selling, and craft a story that you will enjoy writing while trying to make it as commercial as you can, but have your own voice in it. And don't try to replicate anyone else, because this is your brand. This is what you're building. So that's kind of my thing. Is first off, my advice would be pick your future and where you want to go from there. And that's how you would start, in my opinion. Yeah,
that's great advice. That is so key. The differences for the purpose of writing. That is huge. Yeah. It really is. And doing your homework, right? And reading, being familiar with what's out there, what's selling on the bestseller list and all that kind of stuff. So cool. Yep. Awesome. Well, you guys have been awesome. This has been a really fun time. Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. Seriously.
Thank you for
major fangirling over here. And I'm not just plugging the name of the group. Although it's a great name. It is. I will say. It is, because it's what we do, Yeah. So anyways, but thanks. Seriously, I really appreciate it. And we'll see each other around on social media, right? For sure. Yeah. All right. Okay, you guys. Have a wonderful night. Seriously, thanks again.